fellow aviation enthusiasts. This is my first ever DCS video, and just like you clicking on this video, I too have only a few hours with DCS and I'm a complete beginner. So today I will be doing one of the training missions, that is the training mission here, which is this is the DCS homepage, and DCS stands for Digital Combat Simulator. Here we go in the training, and the first ever training mission is the aircraft startup, taxi and takeoff. So I've already done a few of these missions, and by a few it would be exactly 4 of them. So I kind of have a hang over it, but anyways, I thought I'll make this video for people who might be struggling. As of now, I'm using the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 Hottest. It's basically a throttle and a joystick for controlling the aircraft. I know that the Turtle Beach might not have been the best option, but due to logistics issues, that is, I wanted to get the Winwing, which is also in the same range, but I wasn't able to. So I'll have to use this. Um, but it gets the job done well, and surprisingly, it works perfectly. So if any of y'all are getting into horses, this is not a bad option. I have heard that Winwing's customer support is not that great. But anyway, let's get to the actual topic. So here is the briefing of the mission. Um, so we'll be using mainly these commands, these actions, the electrical power, and just for your information, I have all of these binded right on my throttle or on my joystick. So I don't actually use my keyboard and mouse. I use my mouse just to zoom around. I'm trying to fix that. If you guys do some more research, there's a thing called a head tracker, which you can either get a pre-built one or you could like make one apparently, and it's not that hard and it's pretty cost efficient too. So I'm looking to make a head tracker. It basically helps with looking around the cockpit rather than moving your mouse or maybe some axis on the joystick or throttle. Anyways, enough of that. These are the action keys, and let us start with the introduction. So right now, the first thing you do is getting to the cockpit. I mean, you don't have to do it manually, but anyways, this is the SU-25T. Uh, it's the Russian aircraft, Sukhoi 25, and the T stands for Tankoi, which is, I don't think I pronounced it right, but it basically is a Russian word for anti-tank. Uh, the main use of this aircraft was to destroy tanks, and I guess it served its purpose well. Um, Now I'll go into the third person view. You will be learning shortly how to do this, but this is the aircraft that we'll be flying. Uh, and I'll just give you a little overview. So the things on the sides, like these things at the back of the wings, these are the flaps. Um, then this is a twin twin throttle jet where it has two throttles. The throttles provide thrust, and thrust gives you acceleration for you to take off and fly the plane. Then we have this is obviously the cockpit, and in the back you can see these things which will move. These are the rudders that help steer the aircraft when you're on the taxiway or on the runway. It also kind of helps while you're in the air, but you mainly use it for that. You also actually use it while flying the plane itself, but yeah. And then what else? These are the, don't really know what they're called, but so right now I'm moving my joystick up, That is, and this is what it does to the aircraft. It moves the flaps, I think you could call it. I'm sure there's another word for it. Still getting into the game, so I'm not really sure. And it also seems to move this thing. See if I can look at it. Very slight movement on these things which are next to the flaps. Before I can show you everything, as of now, let's get back to the cockpit. As of now, we are still, you know, uh, the aircraft isn't powered up, the electrical system is off. So we can, the first step is of starting the takeoff procedure is turning on the electrical system. I'm going to quickly do that. And when I do that, what is going to happen is the HUD is going to pop up and all the avionic systems, that is the MFD. I don't think there are any MFDs in this, but MFD stands for multifunctional display. This is an older aircraft, so it doesn't have any. But yeah, basically, and this is the joystick. This is the throttle, which provides thrust. This helps in maneuvering the aircraft itself. These are the rudder pedals. Now I don't have rudder pedals exactly. I use my joystick, and most of the joysticks, I think all of them, offer you know the Z-axis, which allows you to move the rudder pedals. You could also get an external rudder pedal. It helps you, feel more realistic and makes it more fun. Like this on this side, on the left side of your cockpit, not a lot is really interactive. By interactive, I mean it doesn't like beep or show colors, show like turn on lights or change with your inputs, except for the throttle, which is changing, and a few things on this side. But in the like this panel at the bottom, I don't think a lot changes. The same goes for the right side too. In the center, that is in right in front of you, here I believe around 80% of the things is interactive. So as soon as I turn on the electrical power switch, you'll see a lot of the things beeping, turning. There'll be the altitude meter going like crazy. It'll be like doing things like it'll be going down by that I mean. And yeah, so let's start. So I'm gonna turn on the electrical switch. So we turn on the electrical power switch and it's brought the cockpit to life. So a few of the things that I'm already familiar with, I'm just going to brief you all. This is the HSI, or the horizontal situation indicator, and what it does is it helps you navigate to your waypoints. Basically, the waypoints are the locations that you set on the map. That is, you come up with a flight plan beforehand, and it helps you navigate to the flight plans. Basically, a Google Maps or a Apple Maps for the planes. Second of all is the ADI. This also does help with that. It helps with your uh, altitude, so that you can keep your altitude in check when heading to a waypoint, and also your rolling. So I'll tell you what rolling is shortly. You will find out. It basically, when you move the joystick to one of the right sides or left sides, that's on the y-axis, it kind of rolls the plane. And this thing on the top is your angle of attack. So it basically mentions the angle of attack. After that, we have, this is the fuel. So right now we're carrying, I think, 188 liters. I'm not really sure what measurement it is. This is the engine gauge for the engine power. And then this is the RPM of the engines, the right and the left one. Then we have, this is the autopilot system. Let's see if it's working. No, yes. Okay, so this is the autopilot system. This is just a random button of the autopilot system, but those 6 buttons are specifically for the autopilot. Second, this mini like plane diagram thing is it shows the status of your landing gear, your flaps, your air brake, and yeah, I think those are the 3 things. So right now I'm going to turn on the air brake. You'll see 2 vertical lines light up, which show that the air brake is engaged. Okay, I do not know why it's happening. Um, okay, interesting. I think we need to go to the next step. Maybe then it should work. Other than that, yeah. And then this little television here is it'll help us with air to ground bombing, I believe, and that stuff is a little advanced, so we'll get to that. Anyways, so let's start. So the next step after you turn on the electrical switch is turning on the navigation lights. So the navigation lights is what the aircraft have on the sides and the nose of the plane, which helps other planes and air traffic. It helps with the air traffic control. So I'm going to quickly turn on. I turned it on, but you wouldn't be able to see it as try it outside. But yeah, after that, the next step is the canopy. So I'm going to close that. So the next step of taking off would be to go ahead and turn on the two engines. So on DCS, there is a way you can do this together. You can assign a single keybind for the two engine startup, but for the realism aspect, I have set it up so that I can use uh, toggle both on separately. So I'm gonna start with turning the left one on, and this is gonna.
Left engine started, press right control and home to start the right engine.
And once the left engine started, it you can see on the engine gauge that one of the needles is starting to move. On the other hand, you'll see a light that is lighted up, a green light that also shows that the left engine has been engaged. Now we're going to do the same thing for the right one, and it's going to happen. So as you can see, the green light on both the engines have disappeared. So that means the engines are ready for use. Now, before one turns on the engines, it's always important to know that your throttle is pulled back and it's not, giving power and thrust to the aircraft. The next step is to turn lower my flaps. So if you look at this thing here that I was talking about, these are the air brakes. They light up right now. The vertical lines, this shows that my air brakes are engaged. These are the air brakes, and they are disengaged right now. And as you see, the vertical lines have also disappeared right now. The other things is the landing gear. Those are the three ovals at the bottom of the aircraft. And the other thing that it also shows is the flaps, which is I'll show you. So these are the flaps, the ones which are turned down. If you go into the cockpit, now we're going to lower them. So I'm just going to do that.
We're now ready to taxi. To slowly increase
Now
the
we go.
throttles.
You can see the lowered. They were already lowered, but there was just a prerequisite check. Now once we've done this, the next step is to start the taxi. Everything is done. We've checked everything. So what we can do right now is give a little input, not entirely, but some input to the throttle. This will give us some power, just enough for us to taxi. As you can see, the plane is starting to move. Now I'm just going to use my rudders. I have to take a left here. And you want to give very minute and small changes to the rudder.
Keep your taxi speed around 10 kilometers per hour. As you taxi, use small, smooth rudder corrections to keep you aligned on the center of the taxiway.
Okay, so as we're taxiing, I will give you some information on the HUD, the HUD, or the heads-up display. So on the topmost right, we have you have a zero symbol. The zero stands for the altitude. Right now, as we're still on land, it hasn't changed. Then we have this 16.3 number, which is basically the distance in kilometers until the next waypoint, which I've already told you what a waypoint is about.
At the fork, hang a right to
And
reach the
we're just
limit.
gonna take a turn here, and I'll continue to explain. So you're just gonna use your rudder pedals as before. Give some small inputs.
As we taxi, you can go to external view by pressing F2 and return to the cockpit by pressing F1. You can zoom in and out using the keypad star and / keys. Rotate the views using the keypad directional keys.
So you can also like zoom out, see an external view of the aircraft, a third person view, by pressing F2 if you're using keyboard. Um, just gonna quickly do that. This is the external view. You can zoom out, zoom in, everything. It helps with sometimes having a look outside, if you're trying to line up the taxiway while landing. We're gonna go back into the cockpit, and I think I need to give in some more input. Don't seem to be doing. As I was explaining about the
You've
HUD.
now reached the runway threshold. Taxi onto the runway to the right and align yourself down the length of it.
Yes, so the HUD on the top most left is on the topmost left is the number 80, which as of now is not calibrated,
Once aligned
but it
down the runway,
basically indicates
toss
the
the both engines
airspeed
to maximum
that you're going at.
and use gentle inputs on the rudder, X
So
and
I'm
Z,
just going to
to keep you
now I'm just going
tracking
to
down
try
the
to
center
line
line.
myself up with I kind of got distracted, but I'm just gonna give some small inputs and line myself the center line of the runway.
The airspeed, as indicated in the top left corner of the HUD, indicates about 250 kilometers per hour. Gently pull back on the controller and allow the aircraft to fly itself off the runway.
So as I reach
Don't
the
yank
center
the
line,
controller back
I'm going to
and
kick
force
in
the
more
aircraft
thrust,
into you.
and just going to try to reach. You would preferably want to do it before, but okay, fine. I'm just gonna try to get to the center line. But right now at 110 airspeed, and this is a long runway, so I don't need to worry. I'm just gonna kick in some more power as of now. Having a lot at the center, but we don't want to go there. Once we reach 250, we're ready for takeoff. So we're just gonna give a slight, nudge the joystick down slightly. Try to maintain an angle of
As
attack
mentioned
of
before,
10
your
while
airspeed
you're
in
taking
kilometers
off.
per hour is indicated in the
In the
top left corner
SU-25,
of
it
the HUD.
obviously
The
varies
top right-hand
from
corner
aircraft
indicates
to
your
aircraft.
altitude in meters.
So now after you've taken off, you want to do this before, once you start climbing up. Just gonna gonna put up the landing gear, and you see I'll stop facing turbulence. You can check the landing gears off by looking at this, and if we go back into the outside view, we see that landing gear is on. Okay, and we go back to the cockpit, and so right now we're at an airspeed of 240, and in the middle of this, of the airspeed and your altitude, is the is basically a directional thing. Not really sure what it is, but we'll figure it out together. Next thing that we could do is, oh yeah, and I completely forgot that I had to put my flaps up. This is also a crucial step. You should preferably do it while putting the landing gear up. So I'm gonna quickly have a look at this, and this is what happens when I put the flaps up. There it is. And we can also have a look outside. You can see that it's now level with the wings. So this is basically the entire process of taxiing, getting ready for taxiing, and finally taking off. And in the next video, we'll be learning basic navigation systems and how to reach points found on the map. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to leave any tips or recommendations. Let me know if I'm doing anything wrong in the comment section, as I am also very unsure. But yeah, thank you.